If anyone's breaking the law in this situation, it's not members of Congress, it's the Department of Homeland Security. It's people like Tom Homan and Secretary Kristi Noem. You lay a finger on someone, on Representative Bonnie Watson-Coleman, on Representative, or any of the representatives that were there, you lay a finger on them, we are going to have a problem.
Yeah, the other ones whose names I can't remember right now because I'm not really very smart. I just learned that lettuce grows in the ground. I've never seen a garbage disposal before. She's a Democrat member of Congress in good standing. Womp, womp, womp. A very good Tuesday to you and welcome back. We continue to be reached at 888-630-9625. The people at NBC Fake News are very excited. CNBC, in this case, they have a lot of tentacles. The NBC people, they got their MS-13 DNC people. They've got that going. But the headline at CNBC this morning is Elon Musk says he will spend a lot less on future campaign donations. I think if I were him, I'd spend a lot less on future campaign donations, too. Elon Musk on Tuesday said he plans to spend a lot less on political donations in the future, signaling a change in attitude from President Donald Trump's top campaign backer. Wasn't he a top Democrat campaign backer before Donald Trump came along? I think that's the case, right? But they're very excited that Elon Musk said that because, now they've got George Soros and how many California, Silicon Valley billionaires? Some of them maintain a low profile, which I think is wise. If I were one of these Silicon Valley billionaires, I think I would maintain a very low profile. But the Democrats and the media, they're pouncing on this because, that's what they do. They pounce on things. Now, I do want to update you on Ashley Babbitt. You all know that January 6th every year is Ashley Babbitt Day in the United States of America. And Ashley Babbitt, a young woman who spent 12 years in the United States Air Force, was protesting in Washington, D.C. on January 6th when a U.S. Capitol police officer named Officer Byrd shot and killed her without warning. No non-lethal force, no nightstick, no taser, no pepper spray, none of that. Just shoot and kill her. He saw this woman who was protesting. It's her First Amendment right. She's got all the Democrats. They scream at us when they're burning cities about their First Amendment rights to firebomb places and attack the police and burn police cars and police precincts and burn things to the ground that they're so fond of doing. Ashley Babbitt was laughing and said, hey, look, we're protesting at the Capitol. And then Lieutenant Byrd shot and killed her with no non-lethal force. And the Democrats applauded that and gave him awards and a raise and a promotion. Well, today you may find that there has been something of a resolution. The frauds at the horrible, awful centabillionaire, another billionaire, Jeff Bezos, right? He's got hundreds of billions of dollars, too, like Elon Musk. And he gives all his money to Democrats, and he bought the Washington Post, and he gave that to the Democrats. What did he pay for that, $300 million or something, after getting a $600 million contract with the CIA? Not that there's any connective tissue there, but the headline today, nearly $5 million for rioters' family. That's the Washington Post headline because they're communists, and they love the racist riots of the Democrat Party from coast to coast. Caused billions in damage, dozens killed, and the Washington Post applauded that. Ashley Babbitt was slain at Capitol, the subheadline says there. Settlement reverses earlier decision by DOJ. The earlier decision was by the Democrat DOJ, the corrupt DOJ. So we kill all of our political enemies. We throw them in prison for decades. We're the Soviet Union in the United States. But the Ashley Babbitt's death, ABC News writes, family of woman shot, killed during January 6th attack to receive $5 million settlement with Trump administration. Wait a minute, with the Trump administration? Was it the Trump administration that shot her? Is that because I don't think the Trump administration, this is kind of fascinating stuff, January 6th. Ashley Babbitt wrongful death suit to be settled for nearly $5 million. The Washington Post, they had originally sued for $30 million. $30 million. And the Democrats said, screw her. I'd kill her all over again, because that's the Democrat Party. They're the left. They're the party of jailbreaks in New Orleans. They're the party of MS-13. They're the party of Tren de Aragua. And honestly, they're on the side of Hamas and not Israel. Isn't that amazing? Speaking of which, there's an update on that too. But isn't there always the people at ABC Fake News? They're very excited. They're pro-killing Ashley Babbitt at ABC News. The Trump administration is set to pay out nearly $5 million to settle a lawsuit brought by the family of Ashley Babbitt, a rioter fatally shot during the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Sources familiar with the matter confirmed to ABC News, and they had to get sources familiar with the matter. You know what I'm wondering, Michael? I know that the George Floyd family sued. How much did they get for the career criminal fentanyl junkie with methamphetamine and everything, and that he was resisting arrest yet again? The family of George Floyd got $27 million for the career criminal assaulting the police, resisting arrest, fighting the cops again, passing counterfeit bills, his bloodstream coursing with fentanyl and methamphetamine, when, according to the coroner, he died of a coronary and because the drugs, and they said if they found him dead in his Barcalounger at home, they would have called it a fatal fentanyl overdose. $27 million. But that's because the Democrats burned cities from coast to coast. The Democrat Party did, and their followers, their violent criminal mobs. And they created more than $2 billion in property damage, and dozens were killed. And George Floyd is a hero, and the police officer was put in prison for murder, and he was stabbed 22 times. Derek Chauvin, the police officer's name, stabbed 22 times in prison by a Democrat, because the Democrat Party does all of that kind of stuff. Now, the Trump administration is set to pay out nearly, and it's funny because they called the Trump administration. Did they tag when a Democrat with the $27 million for the George Floyd thing? Because Governor Tim Walz was, I know a guy named Mark Walz. Governor Tim Walz and his wife was leaving the windows open at night at the governor's mansion because she liked the smell of the burning city, right? And did they say Governor Walz pays out $27 million? No, that leads, they don't say that. But here, because the news media is the most corrupt institution in America, the Trump administration is set to pay out nearly $5 million to settle a lawsuit by the family of Ashley Babbitt, a rioter. You might call her a 12-year Air Force veteran, but they call her a rioter. You could call George Floyd a career criminal junkie, resisting arrest at his latest felony arrest. Ashley Babbitt, no felony arrests, 12 years proudly serving in uniform, United States Air Force. She's not the Democrat that self-immolated at the Israeli embassy in his Air Force uniform. He was a Democrat, but never mind that. A rioter fatally shot during the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Sources familiar told ABC News. The settlement will resolve a $30 million suit brought by Babbitt's estate and the conservative group Judicial Watch, alleging the wonderful, great Judicial Watch, wonderful organization, alleging U.S. Capitol police officer who shot her as she attempted to breach a broken window in the House Speaker's lobby. It was in a lobby. Was negligent in his duties. No non-lethal. It's a woman. He was a big, overweight man, and he could have grabbed her, but he didn't. He just shot her, and then he went to lunch. And again, this Officer Byrd, left his gun in the men's room one day up on Capitol Hill, and couldn't find it. The Washington Post first reported the news of the settlement amount. The Justice Department, April of 2021, announced it had cleared U.S. Capitol Police Lieutenant Michael Byrd, a racist, of any criminal wrongdoing in the shooting, after an investigation revealed no evidence that he did not reasonably believe that it was necessary to do so in self-defense or in defense of the members of Congress and others evacuating the House chamber. Now, I remember when the violent mob of Democrats attacked the White House when President Trump was in there, and it was 3 days. The president and the first family had to be evacuated by the Secret Service to the underground nuclear bunker. And it was the first time the president had to be evacuated from the White House because of violence outside since the War of 1812, when the British were attacking Washington. And they set fire to the Church of the Presidents across the street from the White House. And nobody was charged. Nobody was charged at all with violence. There were 180 police officers injured in that riot by the organized Democrat Party mob. And nobody was sentenced to a single night in jail. No criminal charges, no sentences at all for the violent mob of Democrats. And honestly, but when the Democrat Nancy Pelosi was in there, oh no, we got to shoot to kill women. Oh, is she a career criminal? No, but she spent 12 years in the U.S. Air Force. This is the Democrat Party in the 21st century. Not on her side. So U.S. Capitol Police Lieutenant Michael Byrd cleared of any wrongdoing by the Justice Department in 2021, in April of 2021. Isn't that amazing? Gosh, that's because the Justice Department had been taken over by the Biden Attorney General and the FBI, corrupt as hell. And we got to get James Comey, too, speaking of the FBI being corrupt as hell. Yeah, but the Justice Department in April of 2021, they cleared him. He's all cleared. Oh, no, yeah, it was a clean kill. Yeah, you get a medal for that. We're going to give you a promotion. You're going to get more money. Kill more of them because the left is here. They're not on our side. Isn't that amazing? So nearly $5 million, the Washington Post says, so short of $5 million. But for career criminal resisting arrest, George Floyd, $27 million. Buy a lot of crack with that. Don't you buy a lot of fentanyl, a lot of methamphetamine. Just crazy, crazy Democrats. Ashley Babbitt, shoot to kill. Whose side are they on? Well, they're the Soviet Union. The Democrat Party is, and they're the Houthis. They're kind of a combination of the Houthis and the Soviet Union. They really are. On the side of Hamas. Not on our side at all. Just extraordinary stuff. But, I guess you say good for the Ashley Babbitt family, but honestly, you get $27 million for career criminal junkie resisting arrest, passing fake counterfeit bills, bloodstream coursing with fentanyl and methamphetamine. Ashley Babbitt, clean as a whistle. Shot and killed, one shot, one kill. And it's not like the police shot and killed George Floyd. They were holding him down according to police procedure at the police academy. And he was resisting. Should have shot him. Maybe then the Democrats would have given him an award. Derek Chauvin could be the hero of the Democrat Party. Don't you think? Yeah, I think not. They wanted to get back to burning stuff down. They are amazing. Yes, they are. All right, we've got a lot in President Trump on Capitol Hill today. A lot coming up. If you've had enough of a big wireless, the giant cell phone companies and their runaround, it's time to switch to consumer cellular. We got a most beautiful new consumer cellular phone. Just the transition was like boom. You're going to get the same fast, reliable, nationwide coverage as the big wireless companies, but without the big wireless prices and without the mega corporation shenanigans where they force you into an unlimited plan that you really don't even need, right? And they charge you lots of money for it that you don't need to spend. But Consumer Cellular isn't a prepaid option company. You get to pick a plan, and you know exactly what your bill is going to be at the end of every month. It's so easy to switch, too. All you have to do is call where you're going to speak to an actual human being, not a robot, based right here in the United States of America, thank you very much, where their call centers are. They're going to make switching your plan fast, and they make your switching your plan easy. Right now, you can get your second month free because you hang out with me with my special promo code Chris. It's that simple. CHRIS. Taxes and third-party fees will apply. So check out consumercellular.com/Chris for more information, or call them on the telephone at 800-760-0702. That's right. All right, we've got more coming up. And Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis. What's going on with that? For how long was that cover-up ongoing, and who was involved? Chris here with a list of things that none of us should trust. The Washington Post, the New York Times, anything on CNN. Here's a list of things that I do trust. The Washington Times. Support real journalism for just $1 a week at washingtontimes.com/Chris. All right, now, LaMonica, I like to call her LaMonica like we're old friends. Democrat member of Congress McIver from New Jersey, a real piece of work, this one. She showed up at an illegal alien detention center in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, with the mayor of Newark, who's a radical and an extremist, and she violently attacked federal police officers and assaulted them, and now she's the hero of CNN because, you know, they off the pigs, right? You know, that's their thing. And ACAB, all cops are bastards, one of their graffiti tags that they enhance our cities with, the Democrat Party. And here's LaMonica on CNN this morning, where they're all looking sad-faced, the news anchors, like, oh, we're so happy you could be here. Please beat the hell out of somebody on the way out the door.
The entire situation was escalated by ICE. They caused the confrontation.
No.
Homeland came and, caused this chaos that we see. It was a very tense situation, but it could have been, easily it could have easily not happened. They
That's
had
true.
every opportunity to not allow this to happen. It was very unnecessary.
Well, you're right about that. You're a member of Congress, a filthy, corrupt, criminal member of Congress. And what you do as a member of Congress is you call and you say, I'm going to come down and inspect the facility as a member of Congress. And they say, okay, come in tomorrow. But what they did is they showed up and they weren't prepared, the police and the facility, but they violently attacked.
Once again, we were there to do our jobs. And, if I'm going to be
do her job.
charged with a crime for doing my job, it just speaks to, where we're headed in this country and what we're dealing with as leaders and as Congress members, here in this country.
Her job, I'm going to have to look up the job description for member of Congress. Is it to be a violent criminal attacking federal police officers and assaulting them in an effort to break illegal alien gang member criminals out of detention facilities? I've never seen that as in the job description for member of Congress. I'm going to reread it, though. Those rascally Democrats, and these are their members of Congress. This is the Congress of the United States of America in the 21st century. I think it all is traceable back to the failures of public education, and I've got to say, LaMonica McIver on CNN, the hero of the story. Oh yeah, ICE did it. Now this is just perfectly typical, and what AOC is doing today too. They show up. They try to invade, not inspect. If they want to inspect members of Congress, there's a 24-hour thing. They say, please, politely, you're a member of Congress, call whoever, Department of Homeland Security, or the people, ICE, people maintaining the illegal alien facility, and give us 24 hours and we'll have escorts for you. And say, no, we're just going to show up and we're going to crash the gate. And they're not prepared for that. You need staffing for that. You got members, it's congressional delegation. Try to behave like a first world member of Congress instead of like some kind of, Yemeni, Houthi, rabble, violent, lunatic, no rules apply to you. Then you assault the police, and then naturally you blame the police. and you say, I'm just doing my job with your fake indignation. You're not smart enough to even feign indignation. I don't think you could spell feign indignation, LaMonica McIver. But on CNN, she's the hero of the story.
Well, the Justice Department and Alina Habba wanted me to admit to doing something that I did not do. And I was not going to do that. Once again, I came there to do my job and conduct an oversight visit, and they wanted me to say something differently. And I'm not doing that. I'm not going to roll over and stop doing my job because they, don't want me to, or they want to neglect the fact that we needed to be in there to see what was going on in that detention center. And so, after
yeah, well, in the first world, we do it by making a phone call and saying, hi, I'm a member of Congress. I'm coming down with 2 other radical, extremist, racist, anti-American members of Congress. And so we don't have to violently attack federal officers and commit felonies to pretend that we're doing our job. And, Michael, do we have audio of her doing her job with her fellow Democrat members of Congress? Here she is doing her job. Which third world country are you from? Which third world country are the Democrats turning the United States into? Then there's a fake journalist by the name of Kate Bolden who embarrasses herself quite frequently on CNN. And she's talking to her new best buddy, LaMonica.
Are you afraid of what's going to transpire now?
I mean, it's super unfortunate, Kate, that we have come to this point, in America, that this is what we see happening to leaders who are trying to do their jobs. Rather, it's the mayor of the largest city, rather it's a judge. We've seen this administration come after and attack, leaders for doing their jobs.
Yeah,
that's political intimidation, and I will not be intimidated.
She will not be intimidated. Yeah. The Democrat Party is truly, truly amazing, honestly. And the Democrat leader in the House of Representatives, Hakeem, the anti-Semite, Jeffries, his name is Hakeem. Hakeem, is that Irish? I'm not sure what that is. He put out a statement saying the criminal charge against Congresswoman LaMonica McIver is extreme, morally bankrupt. How is it morally bankrupt? Is that a term he learned? He's like a 13-year-old who just learned the term morally bankrupt. And lacks any basis in law or fact. Let's play the audio of the body cam video on the police officers being assaulted by the Democrat member of Congress. She's the one wearing the red jacket. Yeah, it lacks any basis in fact. It's morally bankrupt. It's extreme. Yeah. This is the Democrat Party's leadership, the highest levels of government in the United States. And Hakeem Jeffries' criminal charges are extreme, morally bankrupt, which is just a theater of the absurd, lacks any basis in fact until you look at the video and just listen to the audio. And McIver put out a statement. The charges against me are purely political. They mischaracterize and distort my actions. No, the video doesn't mischaracterize and distort your actions. That's for sure.
I'm filing a complaint.
I'm filing.
You can't talk to a congresswoman like that. And you got to put your hands on me. You will pay.
You will pay. You put your hands on. You're under arrest. I would have used a nightstick and a taser and maybe do an Ashley Babbitt on her. Hey, wait a minute. You're actually assaulting police officers. Ashley Babbitt didn't do that, and you shot and killed her. Isn't that amazing?
May I suggest using a nightstick, officer?
I think that's an excellent plan. So the Congresswoman McIver said they're meant to criminalize and deter legislative oversight. You've just been listening to what she describes as legislative oversight. Isn't that amazing? But the great Alina Habba, she, acting U.S. attorney there, said, today my office has charged Congresswoman McIver with violation of Title 18 U.S. Code, Section 111A1, for assaulting, impeding, and interfering with law enforcement. And it's all laid out here, but the news media can't read anymore, so they don't do that. Just amazing stuff. These are their members of Congress now. They should, these escaped murderers that escaped from the jail in New Orleans. The Democrats will run them for Congress. And I let you see the graffiti inside the jail cell that they broke out of. And it's got one of these metal units. Who was that, AOC? They had to drink out of a toilet. And then you saw a picture of the metal sink in the jail cell that has a sink on top and a toilet on the bottom, like in a camper or something like that. Oh, no, they have to drink out, and it's all a lie. And here they are. They broke out, and they put graffiti where they cut a hole in the wall and broke out of the jail. Not exactly the Shawshank Redemption, but somebody wrote on the wall in graffiti, "I'm innocent." And then somebody else came along and crossed out "I'm" and wrote "we." Not "we are" or "we" apostrophe R-E. Just "we innocent," right? And then, amazing, then below that, above the hole in the wall that they all escaped through, it says "too easy," LOL. But they misspelled "two" because it's T-O, and I guess maybe that's because there's an arrow pointing to it also. Maybe it's that way too easy because easy streets out there or something. But what they meant was T-O-O to say that it's too easy, and then LOL, which may or may not mean a laugh out loud or lots of laughs. Isn't that amazing? But these criminals that broke out, they're all Democrats. The police have confirmed that they're all Democrats. 10 broke out. 6 are still on the loose. One of them, Derek Groves, convicted of multiple murders, right? Connection with the killing of 2 people in 2018. He's waiting for sentencing. He broke out. And Corey Boyd, charged with second-degree murder. And the Democrats want to break them all out, I think. Isn't that amazing? These guys, possession of felon in possession of a firearm, second-degree murder, aggravated battery. And the Democrats, they're cheerleaders for these guys. The Democrat Party is a criminal enterprise. I don't think they should be respected as a political party of any kind. Just amazing stuff. Yes, sir. Yes.
Definitely always open to conversations, but I'm not going to admit to something that I did not do, and no one's going to stop me for serving the people in New Jersey, because that's what they expect for me to do.
They expect for me to serve the people in New Jersey by breaking out illegal aliens from, isn't that amazing? She's doing her job. I don't think she understands the job of member of Congress, do you? I think maybe she should get like an onboarding meeting or something like that. And your role as a member of the Congress of the United States of America does not include criminal assault on federal law enforcement. Just amazing. Oh, and of course, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's got herself involved in this too. She's not from New Jersey, but she's a little tin pot stripper star of the Democrat Party.
If anyone's breaking the law in this situation, it's not members of Congress, it's the Department of Homeland Security. It's people like Tom Homan and Secretary Kristi Noem.
Yeah, it's Tom Homan and Kristi Noem. They're the ones breaking the law. But Tom Homan and Kristi Noem were not there when your Democrat members of Congress violently attacked federal police. So how is it that they're breaking the law? You communist, you Houthi. I think I might be insulting the Houthis by comparing the Houthis to the Democrats. These people. I don't know what to say about that. Well, actually, I do know what to say about that. I got plenty to say about that. Let's get. There's a lot of other stuff going on, but I'm very happy that the Democrat member of Congress says, and she should go to a penitentiary. Who was it? The one of the founders of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, a black Cuban American. He was not in Washington on January 6th. He was in Baltimore in a hotel room, and the Democrats put Enrique Tarrio in prison for 22 years. He assaulted no one. No police officers were assaulted. He wasn't in Washington. He didn't commit any violent act in Washington or any place else on January 6th, but they put him in prison for 22 years. So I'm thinking that the Congresswoman should be looking at least 50 years, probably 50 years in a penitentiary. We should reopen Alcatraz for her and just throw in there. She could be the only. Put her in Supermax underground for 50 years. Yeah. Democrats condemn assault charges facing Congresswoman. All the Democrats, the New Jersey Monitor, they want more assaults on federal officers by members of Congress, elected Democrat officials. The headline, Democrats condemn assault charges. They don't condemn the assault by the member of Congress against federal officers. They condemn assault charges facing New Jersey Congresswoman. This is the third world. They are the third world. They are not a first world political party. They should be disbanded and renamed the Houthis. I am telling you. All right, let's take a phone call, Michael. What do you say? Haven't talked to the nice people in a little while. We have President Trump coming up as well. President Trump cursed a little, and he cursed a little on Capitol Hill today, apparently, too. Not on camera, cursing on Capitol Hill. But the headlines are, Trump tells House GOP not to beep around with Medicaid. And he used the F word. He used the F, but not on camera, not in a public setting. The news media don't care. They have two anonymous sources telling them, don't F around with Medicaid. But it's a Democrat Party talking point to say that they're going to undo Medicaid. And it's all a lie. They lie about everything. But never mind that. In the meantime, let's go to the telephones. Let's go to Michael, calling perhaps coincidentally from Newark, New Jersey, with the wonderful mayor and these amazing members of Congress. Michael, you must feel very fortunate as an American voter and taxpayer.
I don't feel that fortunate right now with this mayor we have in Newark right now. He was voted in not to go to an ICE facility and disrupt their business over there. And also, the congresswoman, she needs to be thrown in jail and arrested also for what she did there, and it's all on camera. So how are they going to get away with it?
Well, they're Democrats. You know, they've got myriad ways to get. They get a Democrat jury, you corrupt everything. You get a Democrat judge, you corrupt everything. The Democrat, Michael, I grew up in a Democrat household. This is a corrupt political party, and they are third world, my friend.
It's true. I agree with you on that. It's the thuggery goes all the way back to the halls of Congress where Hakeem Jeffrey was threatening people, and the Looney Tune AOC was threatening people. And they're all glorifying this Barney Fife police officer that shot Ashley Babbitt. And that case should be reopened, and he should be charged with anything, at least manslaughter.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly with you.
Yeah, they can, but they got to reopen that case. The money to her family is nothing compared to what they need to do to get him for what he did. He was a Barney Fife idiot that shouldn't have been on the police force to begin with, and they all know what he is.
I think you only had one bullet.
Shooting Ashley Babbitt, and I say justice for Ashley Babbitt, and we need to get rid of Baraka as mayor of New Jersey. I mean, as mayor of Newark.
Yeah.
Only thing good of Newark is the airport. That's about it.
And their radar keeps going out.
Yep. All that's happening there also. But if you get a job as an air traffic controller at the airport, you can't afford to live in New Jersey. The taxes are so high. And I can tell you about that firsthand.
Well, it's a Democrat paradise, Michael. You know, they're making everything better. Just, keep voting for the Democrats if you like. If this is what you like, you get more of the same. Invest in caskets and ammo because the Democrats are in charge. Michael, God bless you. Thank you for the call, and thank you for being a thinking person and an honest person. Need more of those in New Jersey to show up on Election Day. Thanks, Michael. Good talking to you. You know that the all-new third-generation Eden Pure Thunderstorm Air Purifier is here, and it builds on the incredible success of the previous two generations. And those earned thousands of five-star reviews on Al Gore's amazing internet. Became a bestseller in no time. The new Thunderstorm uses two technologies, that studies have shown help to kill up to 99.9% of bacteria and viruses floating in the air in your home and your office. Also removes dust and pet stuff floating in the air, smoke, and a whole lot more. Any place you like to breathe clean, fresh air, you want an Eden Pure Thunderstorm, and they don't have filters that you've got to pull and buy and mail away for all the time. It's a self-contained unit. The Thunderstorm will help get rid of any stinky smell, trash cans, cigarette smoke, smelly shoes, musty basements, liberal protesters disappear in just a matter of seconds. And right now, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for a whole home protection. Bring one to the office. Give one away as a gift. Great stuff. Fresh air is good to breathe. All you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com and use the discount code CHRIS3, CHRIS and the number 3 to save $200 on 3 thunderstorms. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is CHRIS3. Very, very good. Michael, I wish everybody in New Jersey were as thoughtful as you. Isn't that great? Democrats assaulting federal cops, and then they all blame the cops. Oh, they escalated. What had to be escalated? Did they have to de-escalate when members of Congress, violent criminal members of Congress, show up? Democrats. Bam, bam. We don't have a ton of time for a call, but I see someone who's got a smart point to make. Let's go to Greg, calling from Rockville, Maryland. Gregory, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, I was just going to say the Representative McIver, she was the one that was screaming and shrieking when Doge first started back in February. She was saying, maybe you guys can find the clip. She was like, shut the city down. We are at war. So she has very violent rhetoric and very violent impulses. She needs to, frankly, needs to be kicked out of Congress, expelled. But, yeah, thanks so much. Love the show.
Oh, thank you very much. And I saw you on the big board because you spoke to Jasmine, and we went and found the soundbite that you're talking about, and we have it right here. We're going to share it. We're going to share it with you right at the top of the hour. And in Chicago, the Department of Justice taking up the racist racial practices of the racist racial mayor there. Let's go, Brandon, whose hiring practices are based entirely on race, just like the Democrats have always done it.